is NJ, your host on this channel. In this video, we will have our discussion on the yearly predictions for the next year of 2023, customized to your Lagna or to your rising sign. So now friends, to begin with, like I have divided this video in two parts. In the first part, I will give you an insight the way slow moving planets and other planetary alignments is going to be influencing all of us on a global level. And then in the second section, we will try to get into the customized areas of your life, like your finances, your job, relationship, all sort of wish fulfillment, how the planetary vibration is going to be influencing you guys next year. And friends, if you have not watched my video for the numerology based calculation, it's my earnest request for you guys to watch that video as well, because from the numerology as well, via calculating the universal year vibration and your customized personal year vibration, you also get to know the theme for the next year customized to your life. So okay friends, before we will start our discussion, I just wanted to wish all of you guys a very happy new year. My earnest wishes that all of your wishes shall come true this year. All of the hard work which you have been putting in, you should get the result of all of your hard work, and this year should open the doors of prosperity, gains, all sort of benevolence in your life. So now friends, like just because I have already uploaded a video as per the numerology calculation, so we have to understand summarized synopsis from the numerology as well before we will dive into the astrology. So definitely friends, next year the energy is going to be of the number 7. If you are going to be making a sum total of 2023, it is going to give you the resulting number as 7, which is a number governed by or ruled by Ketu. So one thing is for sure, if you are going to be putting a lot of dedication, a meticulous approach and attitude towards work, if this is going to be your ethics, your work style in all areas of your life, definitely not only you will attain perfection, but also you will get all sort of due recognition for your hard work as well. Second thing is that friends, on a global level, definitely we cannot overlook this fact that next year in all those communities and countries where they are already going through the concerns of the religious persecution, religious intolerance, so that is going to be all-time high. Now this is one indication which is not only getting validated from the numerology but also from the astrology as well. Now friends, when we talk about in the areas of scientific discovery, innovation, space exploration, regarding that front, next year is creating a very positive energy. And lastly, definitely these days we all are diverging into the cryptocurrencies, all sort of parallel mode of payments and banking. So regarding that front as well, next year is creating a very positive energy. Now friends, shifting our discussion to the astrology. So picking the planet Saturn first and studying the contribution of Saturn throughout the next year. So friends, Saturn is going to be transiting in its Mool Trikona sign of Aquarius on January 17th. So now this is going to be a formal full-time entry of Saturn in this own sign of its. Now just because Saturn briefly transited the Aquarius sign during this year as well, it gave us this insight or a sneak peek, a kind of a trailer that what exactly Saturn has in its mind for us. But now once Saturn is going to enter Aquarius sign formally, all of those results will start getting manifested. Now you can also understand it in this way, that whatsoever hard work you have been putting in from the past 2.5 years, the result of all of your those hard work will start reaping results. Second thing is that friends, because within each zodiac sign there is the energy of 3 different nakshatras. So Satbhisha is going to be the forefront of manifesting the results of the Saturnian energy. Now it becomes very important to understand the innate qualities of the Satbhisha nakshatra. Now friends, as you know that Satbhisha constitutes of more stars than any other nakshatra. So that means that Sadbisha has got a lot of intellectual potential. Sadbisha has got a lot of healing potential. Sadbisha has also got a lot of spiritual potential as well. But like the way many like astrology researchers have come to this conclusion, that when we talk about the mental turmoil or mental anguish and fighting the inner demons, these are the areas where you have to control yourself. So now friends, definitely it all comes down to in which dignity this Sadbisha influence or Sadbisha energy is influencing you. Now let's say for example, if your moon nakshatra is Sadbisha, or your Lagan nakshatra is Sadbisha, or your 10th house lord is sitting in the Sadbisha, then definitely you will perceive or you will experience the Saturnian restraining influence to its intense way. And also friends, if your profession, your life hovers around the signification of the Sadbisha, where we talk about the engineering or technical pursuit, anything to do with the pharmaceutical industry, medicine industry, and these days, just because I keep on coming across these consultation queries that I want to make a foray into the herbs, into Ayurveda business, healing business, so definitely regarding all that front, this transit or this stay of Saturn in the Sadbisha will definitely kind of benefit you. Now friends, the innate quality or the essence of the Sadbisha is about secrecy and it's about scientific pursuit. So let's say for example, if you are a researcher in any field and you have devoted your heart and soul into your craft, so then during this year, this can actually give you some sort of discovery in your craft, in your given field as well. Because at the end of the day, the combined universal year energy as per numerology is of Ketu, which is also promising the similar thing. So very good year for people engaged in the healing business, medicine industry, pharmaceutical, technology, artificial intelligence. All those people will definitely get benefited. Now friends, one thing which I want to say over here is that because even my own moon nakshatra is Sadbisha. With Sadbisha, there has always been one thing which is always advised, that how you handle secrets, like it becomes very important for you. Like there has been all those cases where someone who got access to something which was hidden from the world, which become a reason for the success of that specific person. And in certain cases, just because a secret of this top politician got leaked out in the media, and which became a reason for the fall of that person. So how you manage the secrets and how much attention you give towards the spiritual religious austerities will be at its forefront when Saturn is going to be transiting in the Sadbisha nakshatra. And friends, it becomes very important for all those people like in whose case there has always been a temptation towards the intoxicants, drugs and all sort of hallucinations causing substance. You have to stay disciplined because Saturn's transit in the Aquarius, and within Aquarius in the Sadbisha, can create some trouble regarding the willpower and resistance in these areas. Now friends, because Saturn is going to be turning retrograde as well, so like from June 17 till November 4th, Saturn is going to be in a retrograde motion. So Saturn will start its retrograde journey from the Sadbisha's second pada and will end at the Dhanishta's fourth pada. So these are the time period when the restraining energy of the Saturn is going to be at its peak. Like Sadbisha might be carrying all the good qualities within itself, but when we talk about the mental anguish, so over there Saturn can cause lot of concerns, grave concerns. And also friends, because like the way whenever a planet is retrograde, it gives rise to its cheshta bal. So that is also going to be a time period where if you are abiding by a spiritually oriented, disciplined lifestyle, some breakthrough can also be made. Now friends, now shifting our discussion to understanding the behavior of the planet Jupiter. So guys, Jupiter will formally enter the sign of Aries on April 17th. Now friends, from Jupiter's perspective, which represents wisdom, fortune, good luck, so Jupiter's entry in the sign of its very good friend Mars can be seen as a very good sign, because all the Jupiterian wisdom will get the theme and platform of the fierce qualities of the planet Mars of Aries to manifest the results. But during this year, the vulnerability is that once Jupiter is going to enter the sign of Aries, it is going to come in the influence of the Rahu. So now friends, this influence of Rahu on the Jupiter is going to have a pros and cons attached to it. So the benefit side of this influence of Rahu on the Jupiter is that during this year, a lot many people will transition to different religion. People will transition from one faith to another faith, from one belief to another belief. Technology will play a very pivotal role in the transmission of the spiritual knowledge and wisdom. And also friends, regarding people taking interest and the acceptability of the alternative financial mediums like cryptocurrencies and all of that will also go all-time high during next year. And also friends, regarding the matters of the foreign travels or import export, regarding that front as well, the next year is creating a very positive energy. Now friends, when we talk about the vulnerable side of this influence of Rahu on the Jupiter, so now friends, definitely you will get attracted towards the foreign religion or different guru and teachers and mentors. Now on a financial plane, for the material plane, there couldn't be any better influence of Rahu on Jupiter. But when we talk about the spiritual aspect, when we talk about the true transcendental knowledge, wisdom, and specifically attracting all those guides and mentors who have got good interest in their heart for your well-being, for your growth, so all those areas are definitely going to be in the scrutiny. And guys, also because I mentioned this thing that the next year the universal energy is of 7 is of Ketu. So because all of this influence of Rahu and Jupiter is taking place in the Aries sign, so a lot of intolerance and contrasting opinion towards each other's belief and faith will get experienced, will come to everyone's notice next year. And also friends, like many times what has also been seen that because it's the energy of the number 7, so it will also unravel lot many secrets as well. That too, all those kind of persecution which has been done in the name of religion, which has been hidden from the people's or the public's eye, will also come to everyone's attention, everyone's notice. And lastly friends, if you want to understand the contribution of Rahu and Ketu next year, so friends, next year on October 30th, Rahu and Ketu are going to be changing their axis, changing their signs. So Rahu will make an entry in the Pisces sign being ruled by the planet Jupiter, and Ketu will enter the Virgo sign being ruled by the planet Mercury. So now friends, if you remember at the time when I uploaded a video on Rahu and Ketu's transit to the ongoing Aries and Libra, I mentioned this thing that although lot many astrologers are not in this favor that it is going to be manifesting good results, but I foresee that transit or this ongoing transit as still beneficial. But now friends, Rahu's transit in the Pisces and Ketu's transit in the Virgo is going to be very sensitive, very volatile, with extremities in store for everyone. Now it all comes down to individual to individual. The dignity and role of Rahu and Ketu, nodes in your life, how they have manifested results so far in your life, their dignity. Are you also going through the dasha of either of the nodes? Is your profession straight away come in the purview of any of the nodes? Then it can get determined that in which direction they are going to be manifesting results. Because friends, definitely Rahu's influence on Pisces. Now Pisces is a very transcendental energy, and as you know that Rahu's influence on someone's emotional mental state, like Rahu's straight impact or influence on someone's natal moon, can make you very confused, can make you very delusional, can make you very obsessive. Like Rahu is the chief significator of all sort of psychological problems which are these days found in the society. And definitely Pisces energy can give rise to all these kind of confusion and delusion to its peak. And also friends, when we talk about Ketu's influence on the Virgo, so as you know that Ketu is a very spiritual planet, and Virgo is all about discipline, it's all about the material duties and responsibilities. So Ketu in the Virgo can also cause problem in the form of getting into like a sudden job change, transition in your portfolio, or people getting into unusual vocation, making some wrong choices at their professional front, giving rise to strong enmity, giving you powerful enemies. Now this could be real or imagined, but this could give rise to all these kind of circumstances as well. So now friends, the thin layer lies on your religious faith and how much spiritually oriented you are, because we cannot even overlook this fact that the overlap between the Ketu and Virgo is of the perfection. And when we talk about the mutual overlap of the qualities of the Rahu and the Pisces, so definitely friends, because Pisces has got a very transcendental vibration, and Rahu can actually make you completely submerge in any of the field where you are currently engaged in, like all these people who are in the foreign trade, cannabis business, or art and craft like filmmaking, photography and research exploration of any kind. So completely getting submerged in your craft can also be foreseen with this influence of Rahu in the Pisces. Friends, we only talk about the material side of the Rahu. Like definitely Rahu cannot make you very religious, that is for sure. But when we talk about the spiritual prospect, so you cannot even overlook this fact that out of all these three nakshatras of the Rahu, it's the Sadbisha which is considered as the epitome of spirituality. So definitely friends, it all comes down to the choices you make, the kind of role notes are playing in your life, and basis that you can determine that what kind of results from October 30th Rahu and Ketu are going to be manifesting in your life. So this is something friends which I wanted to say as a part of my inputs for this general universal trend and the behavior and movement of the slow moving planets next year. There are also certain signs which are going to be heavily getting influenced next year because of the movement of the planets, like for example Aries, where Jupiter and Rahu are going to be transiting, and Aries is also going to be receiving the third aspect from the planet Saturn. Then comes the axis of the Leo and the Aquarius, because friends, on Aquarius Saturn is going to be transiting, and Leo is a sign which is receiving aspect both from the transiting Jupiter and the Saturn, and Scorpio as well, because Scorpio is going to be receiving the 10th aspect of the planet Saturn. So okay friends, now we will shift our discussion to your customized Lagna, and we will try to understand the way next year is going to be turning out for you. So friends, starting your new year's forecast with the spiritual lessons which we receive from tarot. So out of all the major arcana cards, as a part of your theme, the card which I received is the Sun card, so which in itself is a very good indication that all the hard work which you have been putting in, the result of that will appear in the form of recognition, fame and rewards. We cannot overlook this fact that the planet of blessings and good fortune is going to be transiting in your first house during this year, and the planet which is the significator of our karma, of our hard work, is going to be transiting in your 11th house of wish fulfillment. So overall friends, the spiritual lesson which we have received from the divine is indicating a very positive energy for all the Aries Lagna people. Also friends, basis all the Hindu Sanatan Dharma gods, I also wanted to see that what kind of energy or what kind of blessings gods are bestowing in our life, like specifically for the Aries Lagna people. So I received the blessings in the form of the Gautam Buddha and the Lord Parshuram. So now if I were to read out the blessings from the Lord Buddha, that could be understood as non-violence, attainment of nirvana, detachment from worldly temptations, readiness and ability to pass knowledge on to others, completely in sync, in resonance with the entry and the stay of Jupiter in your first house. Now the blessings which we are receiving from the Parshuram are: first is the teaching ability, ultimate justice for all, Saturn will be transiting in your 11th house, skill in the martial arts or whatsoever skill you possess, you will be able to refine it, and converting warrior spirit and qualities into peaceful ones. So now friends, let's try to understand how planets are going to be influencing the matters of your specific houses during this year. Starting first with the first house. So definitely Jupiter is going to be entering your first house on April 21st. And because once it is going to enter over here, it is going to get conjunct with Rahu. So definitely anything to do with the foreign travel, immigration concerns, citizenship related concerns, admission in the foreign universities, all of that will definitely benefit you, because in your case Jupiter has got the rulership of the two important houses of foreign travels and foreign residentship. And also friends, during this year Saturn is going to be aspecting your first house with its third aspect. Now Saturn's aspect on Jupiter is always a blessing in disguise, because Saturn always keeps the buoyant optimism of Jupiter completely in check, always makes it very realistic. So now let's say for example, whether you are working in the fields of banking or like teaching, philosophy or theology, anything to do with the specifically these days where we are talking about cryptocurrencies, bitcoins, if you are already engaged in all these currencies and in all these dealings, so definitely you will get benefited. It's just like that you can understand it in a very simpler language, that all the righteous deeds you have been doing, all the bhakti, all the devotion towards the gods which you have been showcasing, the result of that in the form of the good thought process, recognition, good friend circle, good association, good health. So in these form, all the blessings will bestow in your life for all the Aries Lagna people. And definitely because of the strengthened state of your 10th and the 11th house Lord, which is going to be aspecting your first house, so all those people who are working in the fields of technology, you have any sort of political aspiration, all those people can also get benefited. And lastly friends, whenever we talk about any important auspicious lifetime events in our life, like where we talk about getting married, childbirth, buying your own home, so all those things can also take place during this year, because of the way planets are going to be influencing the matters of your first house. And in all those circumstances and scenarios where people have been facing the brunt of Rahu's transit in your first house in the form of the concerns of the health related vulnerability, so even on October 30th, Rahu will exit your first house and it will transit to your 12th house. So overall, a very good year of happiness, blessings and recognition for all the hard work which you have been putting in. And friends, I have also uploaded a video of the predictions for this year from Numerology as well. So adding everything which we have just discussed, let's say for example, if you're already next year, you are in the energies of the personal year 1 or personal year 3 or 6, so then definitely all of that which I am currently saying over here, the good result of that will get magnified in the life of the Aries Lagna people. Now friends, talking about the matters of your second house, which tells about your bonding with your family members, any of the concerns of finances or buying any assets and everything. So regarding that front, Venus will definitely start the year in a very positive note, like it will be transiting in the Capricorn, then once it will transit to the Aquarius, it is going to get conjunct with your 10th and 11th house Lord planet Saturn, then Venus is going to get exalted as well. So overall friends, for any of the matters of the finances, definitely this year is creating a very positive energy. Specifically, it's not only your own efforts, your own self-initiated efforts, but also people in your community, in your circle of influence will also extend a helping hand towards you. So if I were to say pertaining to the matters of your family life, financial inflow or like investments portfolio perspective, this year is creating a very positive energy. I'm not seeing any vulnerability in any way affecting the Aries Lagna people negatively. Now, talking about the matters of your third house, which tells about your influence, short journeys, initiatives. So now friends, specifically there are certain months like the month of January, May, September, when Mercury is going to be retrograde, and specifically in the month of May, when Mercury is going to be combust retrograde in the Aries sign, it is going to be conjunct with Rahu as well. So those are the certain timelines when you have to remain a little bit cautious. But apart from that, definitely third house, which tells about your efforts and the ultimate giver of the results of all of your efforts, which is the planet Saturn, is in a very strong dignity during this whole year for your rising sign. And the planet of the blessing will be transiting in your first house. So I'm not seeing you guys vulnerable in any of the matters of your third house. Like rather I would say, the way we say this thing, that third house, like all these three air houses, third house tells about your efforts relying on yourself. Seventh house is about your efforts being dependent on your partner, and 11th house is about your efforts in a collective way being associated or being in cahoots, in cooperation with the community. So I would say that rather than thinking about going a lone wolf, it will be more advisable for you guys to look forward to the support of other people. And when we talk about the result of all the hard work and initiative you will take during this year, the chances are going to be very strong that you will get success in majority of your initiatives. Now definitely a lot will be dependent on the kind of yogas you have in your chart, what kind of dashas you are running through. But looking at the planetary influence from the transit perspective, planets seem to be supporting you or blessing you in all of your endeavors as a part of this 2023's theme for all the Aries Lagna people. Guys, the blessings in the matters of your fourth house is that now Saturn has transited to your 11th house. So that means from the past 2.5 years, Saturn was aspecting your fourth house. So the matters of emotional vulnerability, stress and pressure on the domestic responsibilities might have been hard on you or high on you. But now just because Saturn has stopped aspecting your fourth house, that is a blessing in disguise. And we cannot even overlook this fact that, see, Mars right now is in a very long stay in the Taurus sign. So that in itself tells about that, see, if you will go to the second house, that is in a way the 11th from the fourth house. So for all those people who are already engaged in the real estate, any of the matters of like you are a first time house buyer, you are contemplating in buying your own home. So regarding that front as well, the year seems to be creating a very positive energy for a lot many Aries Lagna people. Like rather I would say that there are just certain months like when Mars is going to be transiting in the Mercury signs, or when even it is going to be debilitated as well. So those are the like April, May, June, September, October. So these are the few months where you have to stay cautious. But apart from that, from the matters or the perspective of investing in real estate, feeling that emotional relief once Saturn has transited to your 11th house, has stopped aspecting your 4th house. So regarding all that front, this year seems to be creating a very positive energy in the matters of the 4th house for all the Aries Lagna people. Kind of aspect which your 5th house is going to be receiving this year. So like Jupiter, once it is going to be like transiting in your 1st house on April 21st, Jupiter from the 1st house will start aspecting your 5th house, your Leo sign. Saturn once on January, it is going to transit to the Aquarius sign. It will start aspecting the Leo sign with its 7th aspect. Now I do not want to get into the aspect of Rahu, because a lot many astrologers, they take Rahu's aspect and a lot many they refrain from, or they say this just because Rahu is a imaginary or a shadow planet. Rahu does not have a aspect. But in a way friends, Leo sign in your case is getting highly accentuated. Now try to understand and blend the qualities of Leo with your fifth house. Because friends, fifth house does not only tell about originality, creativity, childbirth, progeny. Fifth house in a way tells about the product development, like what you will be creating in this world. Like universal energies do not work only on the principles of a human life being created. For the universe or the universal consciousness, whether you have created a big business or you have created a family, so everything is being scrutinized and being seen in the same light. So for any of your endeavors which are connected with the matters of the fifth house, now here we are talking about, like for someone who might be appearing for any important competitive exam, or for someone who has to land at his first dream job, get placed in a very good company after the completion of his education, or someone who has like worked enough in a job. Now this person wants to transform into his own business. So regarding anything to do with the matters of the fifth house, this year is creating a very blessed positive energy in the areas of the fifth house for all the Aries Lagna people. Now guys, talking about the matters of your sixth house. So now as you can see over here, that because Mercury in your case has got the rulership of both the third house and the sixth house. So like there are certain months like the month of January, May and September when Mercury is going to be retrograde. Those are the times when you have to remain a little bit cautious and careful. Because friends, before the thing was different. Because ever since Rahu has transited to your first house, it is instilling, like it is trying to instill negative thoughts, all those unethical actions or provocation towards indulging in all those acts and actions. So before, I would say that during this year of 2022, Jupiter was aspecting your sixth house from the 12th house. So the matters of sixth house was in a way protected. But now because Jupiter would have transited to your first house, and just because it would have got conjunct with Rahu, so in the matters of the sixth house, you have to remain a little bit cautious and careful that any of the association in the unethical acts and all of that might get punished. Because I would say you're already in such a golden phase, because the planet of karma in your 11th house, Jupiter transiting in your first house. So only if you will take the route of hard work, refraining from any confrontation, any fights, any unethical acts, and being very much diligent and religious oriented. So all of your efforts, your endeavors, because in your case Mercury has got the rulership of both your houses of your competitive spirit and your initiative, the kind of valor and courage you possess. So I would say it will definitely manifest very good results. So for all those people who are service professionals, the year is creating a very positive energy pertaining to the matters of the sixth house. The only vulnerability is coming that if your actions and your associations are questionable, so then the grace of Jupiter is not gonna be protecting you during this year. So over there you are on your own, and I would say refrain from any of these confrontational aspect of the sixth house. Also friends, pertaining to the matters of the health as well, I would say that till the time Rahu is transiting in your first house, pertaining to the matters of the health as well, you have to remain a little bit cautious. And when we talk about any of the concerns of loans and everything, so I would say that yes, the big chunk of money and the amount could be acquired during this year, but when it comes down to like giving your own money on credit, on loan to other people, so over there the chances are going to be bleak, like with how much are you gonna get it back on time or not. So I would say whenever planetary alignments get formed in this way, it is considered as beneficial to receive the loans, but when it comes down to giving your money on credit to other people, over there you have to remain a little bit watchful. You have to take into consideration the credibility of the person and its intentions for paying back the same amount. Guys, the matters of your 7th house is actually going to get benefited because of the straight aspect from the planet Jupiter. So I would say for all those people who have been single for a long time and they are on a lookout for matrimonial alliances, because if you follow all these astrological weekly, monthly transit videos, so ever since Jupiter has transited to the 12th house this year of 2022, a lot many astrologer would have been advising this thing or predicting this thing for a lot many Aries Lagna people, that now your marriage yoga is only going to come in 2023 when Jupiter, your 9th house lord, is going to transit to your 1st house. So definitely friends, that time has come now. So I would say that whether it's about your public image getting enhanced, any of the good results on the account of the partnership, or for the concerns of the marriage, this year is creating a very positive energy, specifically from the month of April, like on April 21st, once Jupiter is going to enter your 1st house. Now friends, because your Venus has got the rulership of your 7th house, so in the month of August and September, Venus is going to be in a retrograde motion, and also because on September 4th as well, Jupiter will also get into the retrograde mode. So these are the 2 months like August and September where the things pertaining to the matters of the 7th house might not benefit you that much. But apart from that, overall energy and the look and feel and the theme of the this year pertaining to the matters of your 7th house, it is actually indicating towards some very blessed, successful alliance which will push you towards your growth, your prosperity. And this is how we can see or we can judge the matters of your relationship, your commercial interest in this year of 2023. Now talking to the matters of your 8th house. So for all the Aries Lagna people, you do not have to worry much about any of the concerns of the 8th house, because you have got that within you, how to handle any scandals, any challenges, how to work at your intuitive best, because your ascendant lord only has got the rulership of your 8th house as well. So now friends, I would say, and the beauty of this year is that once Saturn is going to transit the Aquarius sign in your 11th house, it is going to be aspecting your 8th house, the Scorpio energy as well. So a very blessed time for people who are connected with the fields of like research, exploration, occult fields, or in your case, you have been awaiting justice on the matters of the inheritances, wills and legacies, anything to do with the overseas settlement, foreign travels and everything. So regarding that front, this year specifically pertaining to the matters of your 8th house is creating a very well guarded, a very well protected energy for a lot many Aries Lagna people. Now friends, before the case was different, because in the year of 2022, like when you would have seen that Jupiter was transiting your 12th house and Rahu was all alone being placed in your 1st house. And at the time when I uploaded the yearly transit video for 2022, I mentioned this thing, that whenever your important planets like your 5th house lord Sun is going to be transiting from your 1st house, your ascendant lord Mars is going to be transiting from your 1st house, you have to remain very cautious, because your 1st house, 8th house will get activated in a very explosive way. So all of that vulnerability is going to come to an end, and I have already explained with this aspect of the planet Saturn, all the matters of your 8th house, and if you are already engaged in these field, you will definitely get benefited. And also friends, because the way planets are creating the energies for the Aries Lagna people, so it is also a lot dependent on the kind of dashas you are going through. Now let's say for example, with this kind of blessed yoga getting formed in the transit, if you are also going through the Mahadasha of the 9th house lord, or in many cases, because in your case your Saturn will be transiting in the 11th house, Let's say for example, if you are in the Mahadasha or the Antardasha of your 4th house lord or the 7th house lord, so that can also manifest very good results as well, because 4th house tells about the throne, about the accomplishment. 8th house also tells about some big opportunity, and 7th house is the house of our recognition, of our mass fame. So overall friends, I would say that this year you are not prone or vulnerable on the matters of the 8th house, rather it will work in your favor for a lot many Aries Lagna people. Now friends, talking about the matters of your 9th house. So the beauty of this year is that it's not only that your 9th house lord is going to be transiting to your 1st house, but also whenever a planet aspects its own house, like because from the 1st house, Jupiter will be aspecting your 9th house with its 9th aspect. So that is also a very positive sign. So let's say for example, if you have been working hard to get admission into a university of your choice, and I also want to add one note over here guys, that try not to compromise on any of the matters of the 9th house, specifically before April, because many times what happen is that you are in this rush to finalize a college for yourself just in order to save your year or more time, but you might be underestimating yourself, and trust me, after April result might come out a lot higher and bigger than your expectation. So I would say that whether you are a student or you are trying for any of the overseas settlement, or you want to venture out into any of the travel business or get into teaching and all of that, so all the matters of your 9th house will start benefiting you during this year. And in all those cases where you have been going through any lawsuit or you have been awaiting justice for a long time, so even all these areas or people who are awaiting any sort of justice, they will also get benefited. So friends, if I were to summarize the theme of this year pertaining to the matters of your 9th house, the transit of your 9th house lord on April 21st in your 1st house will be bringing lot many blessings for Aries Lagna people. And I also want to add one more thing over here, because 9th house also tells about the pilgrimages as well, and 1st house which controls and overlooks your complete life. So if in your case you have been aspiring for any political seat, or you have been going through any of the health related concern, or whatsoever wish you have, like keeping those wish in your mind, even if you will undertake any pilgrimage, so during this time all of your those like pilgrimages and those religious trips will generate some very positive instant quick results as well. So this is how friends I am seeing the matters of your 9th house, where all the hard work you have been putting in, the result of that in the form of the divine blessings will shower in the life of the Aries Lagna people in the year of 2023. Now guys, when we talk about the matters of your 10th house, so definitely now a lot many people would say that when Saturn was transiting in the 10th house, it was a very good energy. But I will still say that the presence of Saturn in the Capricorn in the 10th house of yours was only about doing work, doing hard work without anticipating any results. But let's say for example, now if you have on that tail end of your expectations, of your hopes, that you have been just putting forth efforts, and in the past 2.5 years the aspect of Saturn from the 10th house to your 4th house has given you lot many anxiety, lot many pressure, you have not been able to devote equal measure of time to your family life and all of that. So all of that turmoils and agony, mental agony, is coming to an end in the beginning part of this year only. So once Saturn will transit to your 11th house, the result of all the hard work you have been putting in will start manifesting some very good results. So friends, I would say that regarding your professional endeavors, The time period starting from the 2020 was more of the sowing the seeds, but I would say that right from the beginning of this year, if your dashas are running favorable, you have worked hard, you have proven yourself in the past 2.5 years, so the immediate result of that will start manifesting right from the second week of the January of 2023, in the form of lot many people being considered for promotion, getting those next level job raise, or many people will also venture out into their own business. So regarding the hard work and the result of all the actions which you have been putting in, so that will start manifesting results, and it will definitely give you a hope and a vision for your future. Now friends, that is very important, because a lot many times what happen is that we are just in a very mechanical way, we are just putting forth efforts without being very consciously aware that in which direction our life is heading or our actions are taking us. But during this year, you will definitely get a vision where you are ultimately headed, and this is how the matters of your 10th house will bloom. So friends, if I were to summarize, I would say that all the hard work and pressure which you have been facing from the past 2.5 years, the intensity of that is definitely going to get mellowed in this year. And a lot many times people get mistaken. See, when we talk about 10th house, this house not only tells about your profession, like this is a house which is equally important for the saints, for the housewives, for everyone. 10th house just tells about the intensity of your actions and with how much capability you put forth your efforts. So a blessing is on way and a relief is on way for a lot many Aries Lagna people next year. Now friends, looking at the matters of your 11th house. So because of the blessed presence of the planet Saturn in your 11th house, I would say that first of all, see, you being a Aries Lagna people, you are confident, you are competent, you are fearless. But the Mool Mantra which I want to give to all the Aries Lagna people for this year 2023 is that sometimes you have to be a part of the collective as well. So during this year, socialization, reaching out to other people, hearing other people's opinion will become very important for you guys. And also friends, I would say that just because 11th house and Aquarian energy has a lot to do with the charitable work, with the philanthropic work, with the humanitarian acts and gestures and all of that. So any association in these lines will also benefit you. All those people who are already engaged in the fields of technology or like scientific fields, all those people will also get benefited. Now friends, this becomes, and during this year it becomes very important for you to blend latest tech and innovations in your offering, in your line of work. Now if you are a business personnel, so it becomes very important for you to embrace and opt all those strategies, business practices. And if you are a service professional, so you can also upgrade your education, your skill to the latest tech standards as well, because in your case the rulership of the Aquarius goes to the both planet Saturn and Rahu. Rahu is transiting in your first house, Saturn is well placed in your 11th house. So all those approaches will definitely benefit you during this year. And friends, without any doubt, all the hard work which you have been putting in from the past 2.5 years, the result of that will guaranteed get manifested in the life of Aries Lagna people. And nothing could be better than if you are already running some favorable dashas, then trust me, the possibility of positive auspicious events taking place in your life is going to get very strong. It's going to get very high for all the Aries Lagna people. And lastly friends, pertaining to the matters of your 12th house. So definitely friends, your 12th house lord is going to be transiting in your first house. So in your case, Jupiter has got the rulership of your 9th house and the 12th house. So let's say, for example, because I'm very much sure the entry of Jupiter in your 12th house might have cleansed a lot many baggage which you might have been carrying within yourself, deep within subconsciousness. So once Jupiter is going to transit to your first house, so first of all the hidden enemies which might have been troubling you, any of the inner battles which you have been facing in the form of the addictions and psychological concerns and all of that, so all of that will stop bothering you. Second thing is that pertaining to the matters of all the religious austerities which you have been putting forth, any of the mantra chanting or any of the specific sadhana which you have been performing, the immediate result of that will also manifest during this year. And I have already mentioned this thing, that for any of the concerns of the overseas settlement or anything to do with the import-export nature of work, line of work, this 12th house Lord's transit in your first house and also its association with a Rahu over there will definitely benefit you in all these areas as well. So this is something, friends, which I wanted to say as a part of my inputs for the theme of this year of 2023 for all the Aries Lagna people. For further more updates and notifications on the divine science of Vedic astrology, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and like my Facebook page. Dhanyavad.